Happy Friday. Shout out to the Blue Foundation. Shout out to the Green Giants. Shout out to the Deep Red Alliance jumping on in. Thanks for hitting the like on the way in. Thanks to any new subscribers to the channel, and thanks for helping us grow, guys. Appreciate all the support. The shadow ban is real. Every bit of light helps shine into the shadow ban and helps spread the word, helps people, helps the community, helps us all, helps us keep doing what we're doing here, right? Helps us keep doing what we're doing here. Shout out to everybody. Let me just get this all situated here. Okay. Shout out to everyone. Much love to y'all. Once again, not a financial advisor. I am not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. I am always wrong, but the Blue Foundation is always right. This is the worst show with the best community, and I'm so grateful to the best community jumping on in. As always, Silver Days jumping on in with the crowns. Appreciate you. My JR, good to see you, man. El Prey in the house. What's up, 50 Cent? Good to see you. Con in the house. What's up, man? We got She's Moonfeather. How you doing? Happy Venus Day. Gotta love it. 50 Cent in the house. Look at the moon. That is definitely not normal. Without a doubt, guys, we're building a blue castle. Blue brick by blue freaking brick. Putting blue roses around it. Having blue dragons flying around it. All the X's. The Decentralized Recovery Alliance. The AI agent layers. The application layers. The multiple layers in this internet of value that is building out right before our very eyes. We got an OG just going back to the deep reds. We got a lot of reds. Got a lot of reds and a lot of powerhouse cryptos that are in the reds, especially down in the past year, or if they're just new cryptos down in the past 90 days or down in the past 30 days. We're going to do what as we usually do. We're going to start from the bottom, work our way up to the top, right? Go to our deepest of the deep reds, right? Some of these might be a little bit deeper. It's kind of scattered all over the place, actually, as I'm looking at this list. But you know what? The top dog is worth mentioning at the very least. But once again, let's give a little bit of time for some people in the community to jump on in before we start jumping into this list. Guys, the past two videos have been amazing. The reception we have gotten, even though we haven't gotten very many views and we haven't gotten a ton of likes for the past two videos of doing our 22 layer and 9 layer stack, you know, we definitely have gotten good comments from the community saying that they like that type of content, that they, you know, like trying to narrow it down. We're trying to find the powerhouses, the ones that could be the architecture, the infrastructure, or hell, you know, beyond infrastructure, utility, right? Application layers, sensor layers, right? Interoperability layers, going beyond just the traditional, you know, essential 9. We did a 22 layer one. That was freaking fire. And I appreciate everybody's support to the channel in whatever way possible. Once again, guys, they don't want this information to get out. It's very, very clear. I've been doing this for 8 to 9 years, right? We're going into year 10 in terms of our crypto journey in general, right? So it's been a freaking heck of a grind. Right? You know, a lot of channels, they could do a lot of hype titles. We don't really do hype titles. We don't beg for, you know, I say thank you for the like. I always say thank you for the subscribe. I don't say, you know, and thank you for any new members. Always grateful here, you guys. But, you know, the support definitely means the world to just keep trying to grow this channel. And for me, you know, to do this more, right? To do this more and to hopefully do it full time in the future. That would be amazing to just be doing these streams and doing maybe multiple streams in a day, since I won't have to worry about, you know, multiple jobs to also be managing, right? You know, I'm kind of, you know, that's kind of most of my life right here, especially during this time of the year. I get a lot of work during this time. So putting in the time for the streams, you know, does take a lot out of me in terms of energy, because, you know, we freaking work multiple jobs and then we start doing some deep reds, right? So I just appreciate the support, you guys, because it helps us get closer to where we want to be. And that is doing, you know, this full time and doing this, you know, on the reg for the community and trying to stream every single day. Right? We've been streaming daily. There's not a lot of crypto channels. Dude, there's crypto channels that don't have to stream every day. They have their Patreons and stuff like that. And, you know, they have hoops that they can jump through. We stream daily and we give out, you know, I think, which is pretty damn good information. And if it's not me giving the damn good information, it's the community that is bringing the damn good information. So let's do it for the community. And I'm so grateful for everybody, as always, living a life of gratitude. You guys are amazing. And once again, in the description below, if you're not able to super chat, in the description below, there's ways to donate. We have our Coinbase ID and our Ethereum address there if anybody wants to send us some coffee money in donations. We also have our Ember app, which is, a way of just, you download the app, use the referral code. That helps you, that helps me, and it increases your Satoshis per hour. It increases my Satoshis per hour. Helps us keep doing what we're doing here in whatever way, shape, or form. Your support means the world to you guys. Okay. Gee, YouTube doesn't send notifications when you go live. The hate is real. Dude, El Prey, I mean, you're starting, I know you're kind of in your first year with us here. This has been the nature of the freaking thing for the past 8 years, man. There's something with the algo that just doesn't like the way we go about things. I don't know what it is. I'm just doing, I think it's like maybe the type of information that we talk about, right? That, maybe they check off boxes and they're like, okay, can't allow this type of information. It can only allow this information per stream to get about 200 views. And then that's it. It just caps off at around like 200, 300 views if we're lucky, right? 20 likes, 30 likes if we're lucky. There's channels out there that get thousands of likes about talking about one crypto, not even going in depth on their technology, not even talking about, just talking about price prediction. That's it. It'll be one crypto. They do a price prediction video. It's 5 minutes long, gets millions of views, makes that channel, profitable. It's just, hey, it's the way the game is set up, man. And we're here to do it our way, not their way. And the Blue Foundation is going to be making their mark regardless. The light always shines into the darkness. It's just, just got to roll with the punches. Exactly, Big Mouth Rob. Exactly, man. Bloopity bloop. I mean, this isn't a complaint. I'm just saying that the support really goes a long way, you guys. Every single like really just helps us tremendously. And, every single view, every single member, every little bit of action that is put towards this channel helps us tremendously. All right, Silver Days, shout out to you. AM Wood in the house. What's up, man? Shout out to you. Big Mouth Rob, appreciate you, brother. Who else do we got? Yeah, shout out to you. I mean, YouTube doesn't send out the notifications or anything, man. Angus Scrim jumping in. That's why we got to allow a couple of minutes for some people to jump on in before we get into the list of deep reds. We got 1 page, 2 page of digital assets in the deep reds. And these are powerhouse cryptos, man. We have a mighty, mighty list that we're refining, peer reviewing, knocking them out. Right? What's up, Silver Days? Shout out to you. Huge news over the last few days. Oh, yeah. I mean, we could talk about Ripple's. Dude, Ripple has been getting a ton of news. I mean, if it's a European bank that's going live with Ripple payments, or you got OCC approving Ripple National Trust Bank, gotta love that, dude. I mean, the storm is coming. Get ready for the Year of the Sun 2026. It's going to be fantastic. I'm excited to see what we got going on towards the end of this year. Possibly an exciting Christmas or a Happy New Year. Maybe we get a 2017-esque type of bull cycle to end out the year. I'm thinking the bull cycle happens in 2026, but we'll see what happens as we get closer here to the end of the year. Maybe we get a 2017-18-esque type of bull cycle. The FUD has been real. The deep reds have been real. Right? Nothing but great news, nothing but interoperability, nothing but infrastructure being set, nothing but the rails being put into place. And yet they keep making you think that crypto is irrelevant, right? They keep making you think, oh, it's selling off so bad. What is going on with this project? Isn't this project supposed to be a good project? Why would it sell off so bad? Why would it be going into the deep reds so bad? SHX is at 008. What is going on? Why is this happening? I thought the project was supposed to be a good project. Guys, we are in a speculative market. We cannot lose sight. It is always important to be zooming out, right? It's important to be zooming out and looking at the macro, right? A lot of these cryptos are having great retreat. Dude, if you got, it's a matter of perspective. If you got into SHX at 000s, right? This dip to 008 is absolutely nothing to you. It is a nice little retracement. It's an opportunity to buy some more SHX on the cheap, right? But if you you chased the pump, right? You were buying all the hype, right? All the green candles going up, and you chased it to 3 cents when it went from freaking 000s, right? Of course you're going to be complaining. Of course you're going to find ways to FUD and not think that the project is worth a damn, that there's nothing going on with the project, right? You got Block V going to 009. You got, what else? We got Zahao at 3 cents. We got Aqua at triple zeros, right? We got a heck of a list to go over here for you today, without a doubt. So I appreciate the support. 22 years old. I'll catch a bull run one day. Until then, I'm just stacking. Big Mouth Rob. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Good for you, man, being 22 years old and in crypto. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. You seem to have a prosperous future ahead of you, man. You're going to be retired by 30, possibly 25, man. Who knows? Just roll with the punches. Got to do it. Got to do it. CDK, what's up, man? Good to see you. Casper 005. Yeah, Casper 005, man. If you guys are into the Casper love, it's a part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. Very quiet crypto, right? Casper the Friendly Ghost at 005. If you're into that, for sure. For sure. We got a lot of 00 cryptos here, actually. We got a lot of 000s. We got cryptos in the pennies range, right? So let's jump into it. Once again, Casper got denied to Ripple. I mean, Casper, though, is definitely part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. And, you know, when the Casper founders or, you know, leaders left to go to HBAR, somehow Casper still joined the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. There's something more to that's going on here. There's probably a major collaboration going on between Casper and HBAR. So interesting to see Casper at around 005s. Once again, hey, the risk is baked into the price. My $5 gets me what? 1,000 of these, and I don't even have to think about it again. Hold on forever. See this thing if it gets into the institutional era, right? If it gets into the utility era, that 1,000, you know, tokens could actually be probably very profitable. Remember, these machines work with fractions. They can work with the decimal payments, right? They can work with drops, right? This is where XRP is going to be primed. This is where lumens and stroops are going to be primed, right? This is where the little bricks of SHX are going to be primed, is in those decimal-esque type of payments, sub-penny payments, right? A lot of these cryptos are built for a future that is not even freaking here yet. We are in a highly speculative market. We can enjoy the speculation, but when the utility era comes through, 90% go away. Utility reigns supreme. Infrastructure reigns supreme. The products and applications that are actually providing real-world utility at scale with high security, with cybersecurity as a major focus, compliance as a major focus, eco-friendly technology as a major focus, privacy as a major focus, right? AI agents being a major focus, right? Because the majority of the payments in the future are not even going to be human to human. They will be machine to machine, right? So let's keep going. Rain AI. Rain AI, I got to look into it a little bit more. Let me check. I know somebody's commented about Rain AI. Guys, there's so many AI projects to keep track of. Honestly, there's maybe 5 that I'm really, really interested in at this point. I am interested in Rose, right? Oasis Protocol Rose. I'm interested in XX Network in terms of providing metadata privacy for the AI, right? It's great to be an AI crypto, but if you're not dealing with privacy, and if you can't do metadata privacy at the metadata level, that means you're just doing it at the data level, and that means you could still be compromised no matter how great your privacy is. There's some interesting digital assets that are very AI agent focused for privacy, and I'm digging PRXVT right now. That one looks like a very interesting one that's on virtuals. Will work hand in hand with TIBBIR, right? And we've been talking about TIBBIR as the agentic permissions platform for KYA, right? How about we start off the list here with TIBBIR at negative 49% down, 30 in the past 30 days, 1 billion supply for TIBBIR at 16 cents. TIBBIR is in a league of its own in terms of agentic permissions, KYA, the way it's set up, the type of funding and support that Rabita Capital has behind it. This thing has been building out for like 10 plus freaking years, right? So TIBBIR at 16 cents, negative 49% down, 1 billion supply, leading the AI agent storm, in my opinion. I do like PRXVT. We need to do a little bit more research into that one, but it's seeming like it's one of a kind that is heavily focused on providing privacy for AI agents and strictly AI agent privacy infrastructure. All right, then we go into Aqua, 0005, 100 billion supply. Aqua is at triple zeros. Aqua is a necessity in the XLM ecosystem, the liquidity management layer of the XLM ecosystem. Lobster giving you benefits for having Aqua as, a part of your portfolio, right? Less fees for trades, less fees for transactions, right? Hell, cashback rewards, right? In Aqua. So Aqua at 0005, what a heck of a utility. 100 billion supply. But we've seen this thing in the 002s range before, and we know XLM is getting beat down. The XLM ecosystem is getting beat down. It's not only Aqua, it's SHX, it's Velo, it's other cryptos that are getting beat down big time. In terms of the bear market, right? Hell, even cryptos outside of the XLM ecosystem, right? We could talk about numerous ecosystems that are affected by this. But let me write down RainFi. Rain AI or RainFi. If you want to give me a little summary of its utility or its necessity, why do other digital assets, blockchains need RainFi? What is RainFi doing that makes it stand out, that has zero competitors in that field? That's what we're trying to find, is digital assets that have basically their area of expertise or infrastructure setting to their own, right? That's what we want to find. So if RainFi has something that makes it stick out compared to the rest of the crypto market space, that it can only do, but no other crypto can do, I am very interested to hear about it. If you want to leave me a paragraph about it in the comment section, or, any other information, I'll definitely look into it, though I wrote it down, big mouth. RainFi is teamed up with, okay, but outside of teamed up with, what is its utility? What does it provide? What does it do that no other digital asset can do outside of being able to partner up with X or partner up with Y or partner up with Z? What is the tech doing? What does it actually provide that is an absolute necessity for the 2030 plus future? That's what I want to hear. Partnered up and teamed up with Jupe. Jupe is a great aggregator DEX for the Solana ecosystem. We definitely like Jupe. Very bullish on Jupe, but definitely need to know what RainFi is doing. Jupe is a DEX that can be partnered up and, teamed up with a lot of different digital assets. Doesn't mean that it makes it an absolute necessity. If anything, it just benefits Jupe. Borrowing and lending. Okay, borrowing and lending for the Jupiter aggregator. Okay, is that the only one that provides borrowing and lending for Jupe? Right? If it's the only one that does it, then that's very interesting. But still, it's, we need something more in the ballpark of these type of digital assets that we're talking about here. But, don't want to smash on RainFi. I need to do my own research on it. But I just want to hear, what makes it so different from all the rest of the crypto space outside of a team up with Jupe for borrowing and lending. I need to know more about the technology, need more about its utility in the grand scheme of things here. Just go. What's up, Mouth Rob? Appreciate you. Can you see my comments? Yes, we can, Abe. We can see your comments without a doubt. All right, guys, here we go. So we got Aqua at 0005, 100 billion supply, providing liquidity management layer for the XLM ecosystem. We got XPL, Plasma at 14 cents, negative 43% down, 30 in the past 30 days. Plasma is a new kid on the block, 114 million supply, but very interesting X crypto to keep an eye out for here. Institutional connections. Very early days, though. We don't know if this is the ultimate bottom for XPL, but at 14 cents with 114 mil supply, I mean, I don't mind getting whole numbers of 114 mil supply and just not even thinking about it anymore. We got TIBBIR, the agentic permissions layer, de facto agentic permissions layer crypto here. TIBBIR, TIBBIR at 16 cents, negative 49% down, 30 in the past 30 days, 1 billion supply. We got Tau, BitTensor Tau at $290, right? Negative 50% down, 21 million supply, negative 50% down on the year, by the way. Tau is now starting to get into major deep red territory. If it gets past that 50%, man, we're talking Tau is looking like a pretty decent opportunity here to be accumulating a whole number of this freaking 21 mil supply, AI focused decentralized compute platform here. We got Zahao XAH at 3 cents, negative 66% down, 600 million supply. Zahao, essential for XRPL's success, in my opinion. You need Zahao to succeed with its hooks, with its smart contracts. So XRPL, Zahao, and Evernode in terms of compute, that trio is what's going to provide for the XRPL and XRP a full-on micro-logic, micro-data, micro-payment economy, right? TIBBIR, the most asymmetric bet in crypto right now. TIBBIR at 16 cents equals ETH at $8. I mean, yeah, we were just talking about TIBBIR at the start of this thing, man. TIBBIR, or Patsy just jumping on in. We just went over TIBBIR, man. The agentic permission layer right here at 16 cents, negative 49% down in the past 30 days, 1 billion supply. Interested to know your perspective on PRXVT base, Patsy, since you know about the base cryptos and virtuals cryptos. PRXVT looks like it would work hand in hand with TIBBIR, right? TIBBIR doesn't ultimately provide privacy for these agents. Looking like PRXVT is going to be providing the privacy there. So I'm interested to know what you think in terms of how they would collaborate together, or is it even relevant? Is it just a cash grab for PRXVT? I'd be interested to know your opinion on that, man, since you're like the virtuals aficionado. Man, virtuals itself, that crypto for virtuals, looking like it's going to be that like agent layer, right? The one that's cranking out the agents. Tau is also a contender for that. FET is also a contender for that, right? You're going to probably have agents coming out from a lot of these other type of blockchains. But anyways, moving on. We got HNT, Helium at $1.80, negative 77% down, 223 million supply. Internet of Sensors type of digital investment here at $1.80. Negative 77% down, 223 million supply. Easy to get whole numbers of that 223 million supply. We got ICP. I ran it through your GBT that you gave me, W Patsy. It said some pretty interesting things, man, but I'd be interested to know what you think on PRXVT. We got HNT, $1.80. I already talked about HNT. We got ICP at $3.28. ICP, top tier compute protocol right here. Very high throughput. Security is a little bit interesting. You know, it can't provide decentralized recovery, but in terms of compute, definitely one of the top tier compute projects at $3.28, negative 75% down, 517 million supply. We got XX Network at 1 penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. XX Network is the only chain in this whole space that is able to shred the metadata. Not only just the data in terms of privacy, but the metadata. That's where a lot of your information is stored. That's where a lot of your information could get compromised. And XX Network being the only blockchain that is able to provide that shredded metadata privacy. This is an essential piece of the privacy layer, and it's only 1 billion supply, and it does what nobody else can do. XX Network at 1 penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. Is XX Network on a DEX? It's on Uniswap. You're able to get you'll get the wrapped XX Network on Uniswap, and then you can bridge it towards to your XX Network wallet. They have a web wallet that you can use for now. They also have I think WXX on Zamin wallet. But yeah, so far XX Network is it is a layer 1 blockchain. It has been invested in by Chris Larsen. Not only David Chaum being the founder, obviously the creator of eCash being the founder there. It has provided privacy-focused CBDC pilots to the Swiss National Bank. It is working with BIS on Project Turbulin, right? So XX Network's got a lot of depth to this one in terms of privacy, and especially metadata privacy. It is one of a kind in this regard for privacy. XX Network at a penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. There is a bridge between the XRPL and XX Network, which is very, very interesting, especially when you're doing on-demand liquidity. It's essential to have that on-demand privacy along with it. So I'm liking that XRP. You know, we know that's going to be the settlement layer for the ILP. The way ILP is specifically set up, XRP is perfectly suited for what ILP can do, and especially what XRP could do. for ILP and makes it the de facto settlement layer for the Interledger Protocol. Yes, I know Interledger Protocol is currency agnostic, but the CTO of XRP made ILP, right? He is setting up XRP to be the de facto settlement layer. There's other factors in it as well that make XRP the prime choice for ILP, especially between untrusted connections. You're going to need a standard default connection, and that default will be XRP. So XX Network, if that's going to be the case, XX Network is going to be playing a part here in making sure there's privacy, right? It's going to be in one of those layers. We were talking about the 9 layers just yesterday, that 9-layer shortcake. XX Network falls perfect in that privacy layer for the metadata layer. There's also some other cryptos that XX Network can be collaborating with, right? That cover, private confidential compute. That's going to be the Oasis Rose layer, right? The Blue Rose, right? Blue Rose is one of the top deep reds. We'll get to that one in just a bit. How about we keep moving on? What is Rose? Rose is Oasis Protocol. It is called the Rose token. It's a blue ticker, right? Or a blue logo. ROSE is the ticker. Might as well get to it. Sure. It's at a penny. 10 billion supply, negative 89% down on the year. This crypto can provide decentralized recovery. It is enterprise ready, institutional ready. It provides privacy at the compute level. It provides inherent private smart contracts. This is essential for enterprise connections, enterprise transactions, enterprise, applications, right? So ROSE, Rose, looking like an essential piece in the privacy layer as well in terms of our 9-layer Internet of Value stack, right? So it falls under the privacy layer right there. Could also fall under the compute layer. This next one also falls under the compute layer and is a freaking powerhouse in terms of security. XTZ Tezos at 50 cents, negative 65% down, 979 million supply for Tezos, less than a billion supply for Tezos. This thing is more in terms of tech alone. We're not talking adoption, right? I understand the argument can come for adoption, but we're still in a highly speculative phase, guys. No winners have truly been chosen yet, right? And Tezos could be one of those ones. In terms of tech and tech alone, Tezos is far superior, and I mean far superior than Ethereum, right? So at 50 cents, negative 65% down, 979 million supply. It is looking like a hell of an opportunity right here for Tezos. This thing is built for a future that isn't even here yet. This thing doesn't require a hard fork of any kind, no forks whatsoever, right? In order to upgrade, this is a self-amending blockchain. The governance on this blockchain is like no other. Tezos is one of those top tier X's without a doubt. Very quiet crypto as of late too. They used to be a lot louder. Maybe something went down that was more success, more success came their way, right? We got uranium already on that blockchain for about a year, right? You got real estate on that blockchain, right? You got Ubisoft NFTs. You got an actual enterprise gaming system that trusts Tezos for its gaming NFTs. This is massive, right? You got real estate. There's a lot of multiple purposes that are being put onto this. You got F1 racing NFTs. You got soccer NFTs, right, being put onto Tezos blockchain. 50 cents, negative 65% down, 979 million supply. The kind of privacy Top G was talking about. Normie Woo, who's Top G and what are we talking about here, Normie Woo? I think I'm just misunderstanding your question. If you just can clarify the type. What do you think about the token fi when you get a chance? What do you think about token fi? Token finance? Okay. Is this a crypto token fi? Or is this like a type of movement that is happening? Like, is this like has to do with tokenization? If we're talking about tokenization, I think Ondu is one of those leaders in terms of tokenization and RWA. What's up, Jay in Japan? Appreciate you. Shout out to you. Okay, so it's like one of those. So is it basically tokenization? If it's tokenization and that's what TokenFi is like now rephrased as, I would say Ondu is probably the leader in the terms of the tokenization. There's probably other competitors, but Ondu's got some very heavy partnerships and collaborators and backing without a doubt. So I would be looking into Ondu in terms of the tokenization layer. We move forward. We go to Block V, one of the leaders, if not the leader in the application layer stack. 009, negative 40% down, 90 days in the past 90 days. 3.6 billion supply for Block V. You got global already been used for the 2024 Olympics in terms of smart NFTs, right? You got connections with oh shoot, what is it? You got Visa, MasterCard connections, obviously, but it's through a certain enterprise that Block V is utilized by. So Block V at 009, negative 40% down, looking like an interesting deep red here for one of the leaders, if not the leader, in terms of the application layer. It's owned by BlackRock. There we go. TokenFi is owned by BlackRock, so it's a new token. What's the ticker for TokenFi? Check out Anzen Finance, partnered with Ondu. Okay. Everybody keeps putting finance along with their things. Sometimes I think of it as like a very scammy crypto when it does the finance aspect or adds finance to it, but I'll check it out. Anzen Finance. Okay. Shout out Rose and Tezos, look interesting. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Roses, I mean, they're not like, some people would call them dino coins. What do the coins of today, after 5 years pass, what do they end up getting called, right? What happened to the dino coins? Do they become prehistoric coins? Like, I love that they call it dino coins as a sign of like disrespect in a way. I feel like it's disrespectful to call these cryptos dino coins. Like, people have no idea how long tech really takes to become mass adopted or to go to full scale utility, especially in new age tech. Like, this is a scenario not many people in the world have ever been a part of. Like, we're seeing the rise of a new asset class right before our very eyes. Like, stuff like this happened back in the 1920s, right? 1930s, right? None of us were alive to see that. It's just funny that people call it dino cryptos because we're in such an instant gratification world that we literally think like 8 years ago was like old times in tech. Like, if anything, it just shows the maturity, how long-standing this tech is, how reliable, right? Reliability is such a big thing, man, versus the shiny toy. We always love the new shiny toy to speculate on, right? This speculative era is not going to be lasting past 2030. It is going to be a utility-driven, infrastructure-driven era from there on out, right? So enjoying the last days of speculation, enjoying the dot-com bubble phase that we are in right now, right? To be able to make speculative gains on these digital assets, right? Eventually, utility will reign supreme. Utility will determine the winners of these digital assets. Also teamed up with Floki. Oh, Floki's a meme coin if I understand. So, Dino coins turn into petrol coins. That's pretty funny. TokenFi is on Kraken. Okay, that's pretty big. It's pretty big to have TokenFi on Kraken. I'm interested to see what I'll do a little bit of research into it. We'll definitely look into it. So we got RainFi, TokenFi, and Anzen Finance. All three of them with Fi, right? You got Anzen Fi, you got TokenFi, RainFi. How hilarious. Okay, yeah, we'll look into them. We'll try to run them through our models. I doubt any of I bet a lot of them are like the shiny new toy crypto. They maybe came out in like the past half year or so, right? So we can enjoy the speculation in 2026 with these tokens, but I'm interested to see the long-standing value. What makes them so damn unique outside of who's backing them, right? What does the tech actually freaking do? What makes the tech absolutely stand out? Sometimes the best things are behind the scenes. Sometimes some of these announcements are under NDAs. Sometimes some of these partnerships or acquisitions or, team ups, if you want to call them, are behind the scenes and not ready to be announced yet, right? Because they're waiting for the storm to happen. They're waiting for the utility era to happen, right? So there's private GitHub repos. It's not about like, everything that's, oh, look at their GitHub. Look at how many developers they have. We have no clue the enterprises that are doing the private development in the private GitHub repos, right? It's a great way to see like proven utility though through the GitHub repos, but some of these big big cryptos that have already proven themselves and proven their long-standing, proven 100% uptime, proven their security, right? You can't get access to their NDAs or their private GitHub repos. That's the stuff that's impossible to get access to, right? But they keep proving their technology still works, can still do transactions, can do micropayments, highly secure, highly efficient, right? No downtime, high throughput, no downtime, right? Definitely like the deep reds. BlackRock backs TokenFi. Okay, great. If it's in the deep reds, we'll check it out. Let's go. Logging in from work. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. He was talking about which two tokens were the next Zcash. Is that Rose? Rose definitely has a chance. XX Network is the top dog privacy crypto, but Rose is the top dog in terms of inherently private smart contracts. So I would say Rose, XX Network are my two major privacy plays. PRX VT looks interesting. I don't want to get ahead of myself on this one, but at 0.006, 1 billion supply, looking like it is one of the only ones that is heavily focused on privacy for AI agents, right? Specifically AI agent commerce or AI agent payments. It is geared towards AI agent utility, right? So I'm interested to see do a little bit more research on PRXVT, but that's, still early days, came out like what, 4 or 5 months ago, right? So like this crypto is just one of those new shiny toys. We don't want to lose ourselves in it. XX Network is a top dog. XX Network has been in the making for many years before it became a token. We were following the progression of Elixir, right? Since the very early days before this token was even ever released. And now that it's out there, now that people are going for shiny toys and not going for the crypto that actually provides not only zero knowledge proofs and ZK proofs or whatever, or data, privacy, it provides data and metadata privacy, the whole freaking privacy layer that you absolutely need. XX Network at a penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. All right. We go to after block V at 0.009, negative 40% down, 90 days, 3.6 billion supply. We go to XLM at 23 cents, negative 44% down, 50 billion supply. This is going to be the retail layer, settlement layer for the retail industry. For for people like you and me, we'll be exchanging lumens, right, back and forth. XLM at 23 cents. I remember when this thing was 3 cents, 5 cents, man. This is not like, if we zoom out, this is just a healthy retracement, man. People could be like, oh man, how come XLM? Dude, XLM has become kind of like the new XRP. Remember when XRP was at 20 cents forever, right? XLM is now making that home around the 20-cent range. We may see it even go to 18 cents, right? Hell, we may even see it go to 12 cents. There could be a big dump coming that we don't like, there's always stuff that you don't expect, right? And chances are, it's always a massive dump before the major pumps, before the bull cycle ends up coming. That's what happened last bull cycle. We had the CV dump, and then from there on, steadily rising on up into a wonderful bull cycle. We'll see if this year was just about that, or maybe there's another event that's coming that's going to crash these cryptos even more. But anyways, XLM at 23 cents, still looking like a good value, negative 44% down on the year, 50 billion supply. Floki is an old token. Yeah, it can be old, right? But like, it's a meme token, right? It's a meme token, right? What does it do that it's, once again, what does it do differently from every other digital asset in this space? What can it do that no other digital asset can replicate in terms of utility? In speculation, it's going to do great. So if you want to enjoy Floki in 2026, I'm not telling you what to do, right? I mean, that's your choice, right? You're going to make freaking filthy gains off Floki because meme coins will probably be reigning supreme. There's going to be a meme coin hype cycle that for sure comes around again. And Floki is going to probably make you some filthy gains, right? Hopefully, we don't think that it's for long term. Hopefully, we don't think that Floki is going to be here for the next 20 to 30 freaking years, right? If it's a meme coin. I'm assuming Floki is a meme coin. I don't It just sounds like I've come across Floki before and it was a meme coin. So I could be mistaken. Maybe it isn't, right? But it's not really my type of investment. I'm missing out on the meme coin hype. Unfortunately, I'm just not a very meme type of guy. The only two memes that I really even own are Doge and then freaking Dogstar, right? The XTAR crypto in the XLM ecosystem. Those are legit the only two meme coins that I hold and focus on in terms of investment. I don't have a lot of money to throw around here, you guys. I got just coffee money that I could throw around, and I'm just going for infrastructure plays that I can get whole numbers of, do some damage to their supply, build it up like a freaking savings account. These cryptos are as close to possible. You know, nothing is future proof, right? Nothing is a guarantee, but these cryptos are very, very close to being future proof, especially things like XX Network at a penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. We're talking about the Bitcoin of freaking quantum resistant cryptos, the Bitcoin of metadata sharding or metadata shredding privacy right here, you know, at 1 penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. I don't know if Floki does that, right? I'm sure Floki has a utility that makes it so unique because Big Mouth Rob, you're watching this freaking stream, you're a freaking tiger. You know something about Floki that definitely sets it apart from the rest, right? You definitely know. Bonk stock is up $3. There we go. LOL. Ask BlackRock, brother. So Floki is in, BlackRock is into to Floki, right? BlackRock's got its hands in a lot of other things too, right? BlackRock, you know, isn't the end all be all, is what I'm trying to say. Is what is the tech doing that is so different, right? BlackRock's just trying to take advantage of the speculation like a lot of other things. Dude, DTCC says it uses Ethereum. We know Ethereum is not a freaking top tier tech. It just isn't. It sucks. It sucks in comparison to Tezos. It sucks even in comparison to Solana. It sucks in comparison to ICP. It sucks in comparison to AVAX, right? Once again, this is this heavy speculative era. I am not setting up myself for the speculation. I am setting myself up for the utility era, right? That's the difference. And it's okay. It's fine to have differences, but like trying to get me in on the speculative cryptos versus the ones that have proven utility over many, many years, right? And are very unique, right? Like that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Bonk stock is up. Hey man. Yeah. Bonk, dude, meme coins are going to make you money. I'm not throwing, dude, once again, I don't have a ton of money to throw around and do high risk type of investments. Hell, it's already a high risk being in crypto in general, right? So I'm just going for the utility driven, in, you know, enterprise ready, regulatory friendly, you know, setting eco friendly, right? Setting up for 2030 plus. This is my freaking future savings account. All right. Bonk, not meme coins. No more. No more in my eyes. Bonk and not meme. Bonk is not a meme coin. No more in my eyes. Okay. Yeah. Hey, it's all good if it's not a meme coin to you. I got it. It's all good. All right. So we got a MDT at 1 penny, negative 74% down. Measurable data token, creating sensors for the economy, tracking micro data, macro data, right? MDT, you know, in that realm with IOTA, with VeChain, with IOTX, right? MDT, measurable data token, negative 74% down. The Internet of Sensors is going to be a reality. Sensors are going to change a lot of this digital economy, and that's going to increase even more and more machine-to-machine communication. So MDT at a penny, negative 74% down, 1 billion supply. We can get whole numbers of this one, not even have to think about it again. Then we got XYO at 005, negative 80% down, 13 billion supply. XYO, the OG DPIN crypto, right? One of the first ones to be focused on DPIN infrastructure. This one's having a healthy retracement as well. I remember talking about XYO back in the Qcoin days when it was at triple zeros, right? And it was one of our 000 cryptos. Now it's at 005, negative 80% down on the year, 13 billion supply. XYO not looking like too bad of a play here. It may go to 003, but I don't think it's going back down to 000 again, right? OG DPIN infrastructure crypto. XYO also USA type of crypto, right? So very interesting to keep an eye out for. BlackRock buys cat piss to crystallize and sell to China as an ingredient in Fent. There we go. Go Algorand. Yeah, gotta love Algorand. We got Algo on the deep reds list here, Jack. Don't worry. Don't get ahead of us, my dude. Patsy, I put a week of coffee on it. There we go. Hey, yeah, if it's a week of coffee, then all good, brother. All good. I mean, as long as none of us are over investing, right, into, and, there's going to be I get ahead of myself too, guys. Like, once again, I'm excited for the speculative bull cycle that is going to be coming up, right? It's going to be a massive speculative bull cycle. If you have any freaking cryptos, you're most likely going to be making some filthy gains, right? And I'm going to be here celebrating with y'all, and we're all going to be having wonderful, good times, right? But beyond this bull cycle, we are going to be going into the utility era afterwards. There's going to be some sort of cyber event that compromises the security of basically everything. We're going to be demanding more intensified cyber security, more intensified regulations and compliance, and eco-friendly cryptos. It's going to be the environment that is a cause of this cyber event, and also, hackers just taking advantage of the traditional financial system, basically making it obsolete, right? So we want to be prepared. I want to be prepared for this utility era, for this infrastructure era. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, man, and I'm not sleeping on it. I want as many of the essential 9 layers as I possibly can get, right? Any cryptos that fall within those essential 9 layers, I want to be getting whole numbers of them big time. We got Flare, FLR, another, candidate for the compute or smart contracts layer right there at a penny, negative 58% down, 96 billion supply, showcasing utility with FXRP. Hopefully we get to see more F assets again in the future getting rolled out in 2026. I think FLR is going to have an awesome 2026 in the year of the sun at 1 penny, negative 58% down, 96 billion supply. We're getting into our last page here of the Deep Reds. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the first half so far. Appreciate everybody supporting the channel and hitting the likes. All right, we go to EGLD, Multiverse X, part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance, providing decentralized recovery. Decentralized recovery is an absolute essential thing for enterprises, banks to be utilizing your specific blockchain or non-blockchain technology. If you cannot provide decentralized recovery, you are in the old way, right? There's a lot of cryptos that don't provide privacy at the data level or the metadata level or decentralized recovery whatsoever, right? This is a great way to see the ones that are actually legit that enterprises would like to use, right? Versus the ones that, are just trying to gather hype and speculation and not even truly scaling into any direction whatsoever. This is what will differentiate the top tech versus the old tech or not relevant tech, is decentralized recovery. You absolutely, 90% of people have no clue how to use crypto, and most likely in this future they won't even know that they're using crypto, because the trust layer is going to come back in the value into fiat, because we're going to go to a gold-backed system, right? If we go back to a gold-backed system, 90% of crypto lose their relevance. 90% of crypto are speculated on as a hedge against fiat. Fiat is going to transform. CBDCs are going to be gold-backed. Stable coins are going to be more efficient and, more essential than ever for these blockchains, right, to transact with. So, the cryptos that can provide decentralized recovery of assets for the 99% who have no clue how to use private, store private keys, keep an eye out for private keys. This is where decentralized recovery is going to be essential, right? And then especially banks and enterprises, if they have a mistransaction or a glitch or something that just doesn't go right with the transaction, you'd be able to recover the assets. You'll be able to recover their private keys. So EGLD is part of that consortium. We talked about Rose just earlier. The Blue Rose can provide decentralized recovery. This sets it apart from a lot of other privacy-focused cryptos. There's a ton of cryptos that provide privacy, but they can't provide decentralized recovery. Enterprises and regulators will probably not look at them very favorably. We got EGLD at $7.36, negative 84% down, 28 million supply. EGLD Multiverse X, one of the longer standing projects out there. Interesting compute layer as well. $7.36 for 28 million supply. We can get we can get 10 of these and never even think about them, right? We could get 10 of these. We can get 100 of these. You know, I don't know what type of money you guys are working with, but we can get 10 of these and never even have to think about them for EGLD at 28 million supply, $7.36. We got HBAR at 12 cents, negative 57% down, 50 billion supply. It's a non-blockchain, but it's DAG based. It's going to help enhance the utility of blockchains, and it can provide decentralized recovery. It's one of those top tier recovery of assets, digital assets, along with Algorand. Algorand is blockchain based, HBAR is not, but they will go hand in hand in the recovery aspect. We also got the big star, right, that we love talking about, the Sirius star that can do recovery very well for enterprises and has proven in CBDC test pilots and CBDC tech sprints. We have HBAR at 12 cents, negative 57% down, 50 billion supply. We go to IOTA, the Internet of Sensors, the Internet of Things tech right here, the machine-to-machine tech right here at 9 cents, negative 71% down, 2.7 billion supply. We go to Algorand at 12 cents, negative 71% down, 10 billion supply. Algorand, ALGO, also part of that Decentralized Recovery Alliance, one of the 4 founding members. There's been a ton of FUD in the direction of Algorand, but this crypto is basically the Bitcoin of the eco-friendly cryptos. It's the first ever carbon neutral blockchain in existence. ALGO, 12 cents, top tier compute as well, top tier privacy, and can provide recovery of assets that is very, very friendly for regulators and enterprises and banks. Negative 71% down, 10 billion supply, successful CBDC test pilots as well. You got VeChain at 1 penny, negative 80% down. Dude, people, before we get to VeChain, people are sleeping on CBDCs. People are discrediting CBDCs. They don't think CBDCs are ever going to happen. I know this administration says we will never allow for a CBDC. Well, hey, you're just creating more fragmentation. You're creating more silos. You're going to have to find a way to interoperate with these CBDCs because these other countries want to implement central bank digital currencies. And if we go to a gold-backed system, how are you going to do it? You're going to do it through CBDCs. You're going to do it through central banked digital currencies that are going to be backed by gold. And that's why these central banks have been hoarding tons and tons of gold. They're already setting themselves up for the reaction, the solution to the problem that is going to be the malware virus that compromises, some cyber event that compromises the traditional financial system, that is going to be clearing fiat out of bank accounts, right? People are going to be getting hacked, and then bam, we go to a new regulatory regime. We go into a new regulatory environment. We go into a gold-backed environment, and they have tons of gold in reserves. And what blockchain is going to be able to do is force these banks to be, dude, in the future, we are going to demand transparency. We're going to have privacy, right? We're going to have privacy, ownership of our data, ownership of our value, right? But there's going to be demand for privacy in terms of regulation and in terms of what what big tech is doing, in terms of what banks are doing. But it's also going to be what we're doing, transparency, right? The AI is going to know whether you're naughty or freaking nice. Same thing. Everybody will be on the level playing field, right? Everybody will be judged in the year of judgment, 2027 on the way. Let's see who else we got in the chat here. I'm not a fan of IOTA. They did a rug pull with Firefly wallet with that Firefly wallet cancellation. Who knows, man? That could have just been part of the mind games and the FUD. It got recently listed on Uphold. A lot of major connections with Layer 0 right now and IOTA. IOTA doesn't really boast about its token, if any, at all on its X. Very, very quiet crypto based in Switzerland. Interesting office locations near, some really big banks and buildings. IOTA could be one of those mind game cryptos. And for 9 cents, for me to get like 100 IOTA, let's say I just get 100 tokens of IOTA, right? That's coffee money, right? That's $10. I get 100 tokens. Maybe I think it's $10 to get 100 tokens of IOTA of a 2.7 billion supply. I don't have to ever think about it again. Just wait for the Internet of Sensors and the Internet of Machines, or the Internet of Tech, the Internet of Things to really come into fruition. Hell, you want to know an interesting little tidbit? The CTO of XRP, the only crypto he was willing to say that he speculated on, right, or that he has done crypto trading with, is IOTA, right? Very, very interesting there coming out from the CTO of XRP. So, I don't know too much about that Fire wallet cancellation, and I don't know if that's, directly to blame to IOTA, right? But, at 9 cents, the risk is baked into the price. I only need to get hundreds of, dude, if machine to machine is the future, and it's the Internet of Machines and the Internet of Things, right? 100 is going to be more than enough, especially when these machines start transacting in decimal numbers of IOTA, in decimal numbers of XLM, in decimal numbers of XRP, in decimal numbers of HBAR, in decimal numbers of Algorand, right? 100 tokens should be more than enough, if I don't feel like all about it, right? If I don't feel all about it, 10, 100 tokens, never think about it again. If they rug me, I don't really lose out on it, right? I don't really lose out on much. But if they don't rug me and they turn out to be the Internet of Things freaking, de facto layer here, I, would not want to be missing out, personally. I just opened a poly market on when the coffee time crowd steals your 9-layer analogy. I say 3 weeks, Nerdy will trot it out as his own idea. Shout out to you, Patsy. Much love to you, man. We got She is Moon Feathers. Silver jumped $10 since December 1st. Yeah, let's go. Let's go silver. Let's go copper. Let's go gold. Let's go uranium. Let's go palladium, right? I mean, IOTA does allow you to hold their token on their website. Normie Woo, what's up? All right, let's keep going. Let's go to VeChain. VeChain, also part of that Internet of Sensors, Internet of Things. At a penny, negative 80% down, 86 billion supply for VeChain. Definitely digging VeChain in terms of the supply chain. Type of de facto crypto here. We got proven technology from VeChain, right? This is a small example out of probably the many examples that it has. Remember, WMB Group, DNLV Group partnered with VeChain. You got soccer teams, repping VeChain. You got UFC repping VeChain, right? UFC has chips in their freaking gloves. You got UFC fighters talking about how beneficial and how handy, how useful it is. Just wait until you start having basketball teams. The pace of somebody's dribble, the speed of someone's dribble or something like that, or the way they shoot the ball and tracking that information. Hell, the way a football player, the velocity, how the speed of his throws. Dude, the future of the combine, the football combine, right? Where they, scout the draft prospects. You're going to have more data than you need, right? To find out who are the top tier players for your team. Right, with the Internet of Sensors coming, without a doubt. You got Atom token. Dude, the whole Cosmos ecosystem is highly undervalued. They're trying to FUD people out of IPFS and this IBC Cosmos ecosystem. Atom at $2.14, negative 76% down, 390 million supply. We got Osmosis Zone that is around sub 10 cents right now. Sunny Agrawal was listed on Forbes 30 under 30. The last time we saw a crypto founder listed on the Forbes 30 under 30, his project went from 2 cents up to 30, 40 freaking cents. Right now it's right around 28 cents, right? Justin Sun, Tron, right? I'm not saying the same recipe is going to repeat, but Sunny Agrawal being acknowledged by the Forbes 30 under 30, he was one of the developers invited to the ILP summit, right? And if Interledger Protocol is going to be the messaging layer of the, this Internet of Value, this 9-layer Internet of Value, right? And ISO 20022, X402 is going to be on top of it. Then ILP, dude, he presented a slide where IBC works in tandem with ILP to not only do transfer of value, but to transfer the state of blockchains across ILP in tandem with IBC. This is a crazy interoperability layer play for Atom, Osmo, AKT in terms of decentralized storage, right? We talked about the storage layer. Filecoin is one of those leaders. The Big Star is one of those leaders. AKT, Siacoin, those are the premier 4 in my opinion. You also got StoreX from XDC. You got Edge Network that also provides it. You got Flux, right? So you got you don't really have a lot of top tier or worth mentioning decentralized storage digital assets. And decentralized storage is an absolute necessity in this future. You cannot be reliant on centralized rails for your storage. So I do not mind just having a little bit of each one of those in my portfolio and seeing which one's going to be the top dog for the decentralized storage future. You absolutely need storage. There's only one. So if you guys have been doing your homework, remember I have those assigned videos of the entity data videos, right, that are on my X channel. They're pinned on my X, right? You have the banking industry one leading the way. And if you click on that banking, the comment there, you'll see all the other videos underneath it, right, that I have shared. If we've done our homework, we understand that fog computing is going to be essential, right? It's going to be the next evolution of this decentralized cloud, right? It's going to go from cloud storage in these data centers to something called fog computing. And only one of these projects, the big star, is prepped for fog computing, right? So that's very, very interesting. But Filecoin could probably be one of those as well. Filecoin's also, a pretty interesting one in terms of compute. It has its own virtual machine. I just subscribed. Oh, appreciate you, Normie. Shout out to you guys. Much love, guys. I'm always interested in having a back and forth, guys. I speak with passion, and I know I kind of bust balls sometimes and stuff like that on other cryptos, but I know, once again, not a financial advisor, not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. I am always wrong, but the Blue Foundation is always right. This is the worst show with the best community, and we certainly got the best community in here. But once again, guys, I'm always wrong. So, I'll just take the L. If I speak too passionate against the crypto that you maybe like, it's just part of who I am. It's just once again, I'm not here to tell you what to do at the end of the day. I'm not here to make you second guess your investments or anything like that. Once again, we're having a good discussion. We're here as a community, right? Can you speak on the 9 layers? Rich, we released yesterday our 9-layer shortcake. You can check out that video. That would help us out in terms of the views, in terms of the like, in terms of the memberships or anything like that. That would certainly help our algorithm if you can go ahead and check out. I mean, once again, that's if you want to, but there's a ton of, we're just trying to go over the deep breads for this specific video. We have our 9-layer shortcake. We have our 22 layers as well. These are the past 2 videos that we have released. You can go check those out if you're interested in knowing about the 9 layers. What's your X? Sorry for the question. I'm new here. No worries, Rich. My X is @ G_DLT1. If anybody in the Blue Foundation wants to let I Smoke Good know what the big star is, and if anybody wants to, type down, what the big star is, and then type down what my X is for the, for the Grays asking these questions, I'd appreciate it. Green Giants and Blue Crew, if you can do that. So let's keep moving on. We got ADA at 41 cents, negative 63% down, 45 billion supply. Cardano is one of those compute layer digital assets, and it's one of the few compute layer digital assets that can provide decentralized recovery. Cardano is also time tested, has been around for a long time, academically reviewed, heavily scrutinized, a lot of FUD towards ADA. Dude, I remember when ADA was 2 cents and made a hell of a run to multiple dollars, right? So ADA at 41 cents, looking not too bad here, negative 63% down. We may even get a 30-cent ADA, right, if the dump continues here. So negative 63% down, though, is a point of entry, right? Anything that starts going 50+% down on the year in the deep reds looks like some pretty good chipping away opportunities. That's where our $5 could really go a long way and we're getting whole numbers of an OG asset here in ADA, 41 cents, 45 billion supply, negative 63% down. Rich, do we have anybody who wants to help Rich out here with my X? I would appreciate if we can have it typed down there for him so he knows. So, but it's at G_DLT1. And then the 9 layers, I mean, I can't tell you off the top of my head. We have a dedicated video for it if you want to check that out. But the 9 layers, you have the top, it goes from level of importance, right? So we go from the bottom layer. The bottom layer is the recovery layer. Then we go to our privacy layer. Then we go to our compute layer. We go to our... See, I already start losing track of the level of importance there. We go to our... You go to 2 different types of identity. You go to your agent permissions layer, and then you go to your identity layer. And then the top dog is the settlement layer, right? And so, those are the 9... It's not all 9 of them, but in the video we talk about all 9 and specifically which those 9 are. But anyways, moving on. We got AVAX, Avalanche at $13.10, negative 75% down, 720 million supply. Avalanche, very undervalued at this point, very low supply, 720 million supply. Dude, this is kind of giving me like Solana vibes for when Solana was around these prices, right? And AVAX has high throughput, can co-host multiple layer ones on its blockchain. This is massive for Avalanche. This Avalanche is basically making itself into an ADA, or not an ADA, into an Cosmos ecosystem. Cosmos ecosystem is comprised of a bunch of layer 1 cryptos, right? AVAX is now becoming comprised of a bunch of layer 1 cryptos. It's at $13, 720 million supply. Avalanche is going to probably be doing its thing in this next bull cycle without a doubt. Then we got Pack. Hashpack, dude, the native wallet for the HBAR ecosystem is at 007. This is freaking crazy to see. A wallet that could provide decentralized recovery, that is part of that decentralized recovery alliance, at 007 with a 1 billion supply, negative 87% down. Every transaction you do in the Hashpack wallet, you earn pack rewards. You can also stake your pack and make the pack work for you, right? And you can stake your HBAR on there as well. You can stake other assets on it. You can access Saucer Swap through it. Hashpack, very interesting. You know, the only wallet solution that is part of that decentralized recovery alliance. And it's because of its major connections with HBAR and, you know, its presence in the HBAR ecosystem. Then we go to Stronghold. Do you like Metal Blockchain? I've been buying. I do like Metal Blockchain. I just find it interesting, and this is just me. You know, I do like Metal Blockchain and XPR. I don't want to, you know, go asides from that. I just find it interesting that no other major blockchain follows Metal or Metallicus. Like, it's just very interesting to me. You have all these other projects that follow each other. Like, you got projects that'll follow the XRPL. You'll have other blockchains that follow Solana, right? But you have, like, so far as I've seen, there's no major blockchains like a Solana or an ADA or a HBAR or anything like that that follows Metal or Metallicus, that follows XPR. Very interesting to me. Am I the only one seeing this? I'd be interested to know if you guys see this as well. I think that's just strange. And the level of credit unions, right? I know they're tackling credit unions, right? And I know they're saying all the right things. ISO 20022 compliance, right? What's it called? KYC, right? Compliance, optional KYC. And then they're integrating, you know, very, very low level credit unions, nothing of a top tier credit union, in my opinion, just yet, right? So those are some of my interesting, like, little worries with it. It's like, why are it's either this thing is massive and like all the other blockchains know about it and they're like, you know what, it's best if we just don't follow it, because if we follow it, it's going to give people even more bullish reasons to get into it, right? Or there's, you know, somebody said there's something sus about it, right? But yeah, in terms of the compliance layer, yeah, SHX and Chainlink, right? SHX and Chainlink are definitely conquering that compliance layer. SHX is absolutely necessary for XRP and XLM's compliance in the merchant arena, especially. Chainlink, in terms of its data feeds, in terms of its Oracle layer, you'll definitely want that for compliance. QNT, the big star as well, right? They are signing on left and right. It's a layer 0. Dude, I know it's a layer 0. I know XPR is the layer 1 built on top of Metallicus is layer 0. I understand this. I'm not trying to do big caps, you know, yelling. I'm just saying it's very interesting that on its X, there's no major blockchains following Metallicus and XPR network. To me, this is just very interesting. I'm not saying that it's sus. I'm not saying that it's worrisome, because this can either be an amazingly massive thing, right? And they're signing on left and right. I mean, what are they truly signing on? They're signing on low-level credit unions, right? And they're putting all the right tags on their website. US Fed Now, Faster Payments Council, right? Visa, they did a Visa thing. But what is the technology actually proven to, like, CBDCs, right? What has it had successful CBDC test pilots? What has it actually done? And then once again, who is actually, what other blockchains want to collaborate with that? You would think if there's other blockchains that want to collaborate with it, they would follow them on their X. And I'm seeing zero major blockchains following them on the X. This is worrisome because I hodl some XPR from the 000 era, right? I hodl some metal coin from the 1 penny era, right? So like, I'm in it with you, man, but I just think, what's kind of stops me from throwing more into the bag there, right, is that there's no other major blockchains following it. This is very strange to me. Very strange. And I'm not saying that it's sus. I just say it's strange because this could be a great thing where like all the blockchains are in on it and they're just like, we cannot let anybody know about these projects whatsoever until it's ready, right? Or it could be the other way around. Yeah, we just really don't find this legit, right? They're just doing, they're doing their part to get the scam and the hype, right? So, we already got animals saying it's sus, right? I just think it's interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it's interesting. I'm not saying that you can't make money off of it because obviously we've made some money from it being from the 000s up until now, right? So, and you'll probably be able to continue if it goes into the pennies range, right? But I just think it's very, like, you guys can tell me if, once again, I'm always wrong, and this is a community here, right? You guys can check out on your own X and see all the major blockchains that you most likely follow. And you know how on X it says followers similar to you. I check the followers and it's just community people that are, I follow from our channel here that follow XPR, but no major blockchains. No major blockchains. I just think it's interesting. That's it. I'm not going to say it's sus. I'm not going to say it's a scam because, you just never know with these things. I just think, I'd just be interested to hear what you think, right? I'm trying to stay neutral there. I'm trying to stay neutral as well here, Animal. Anyways, moving on. The layers are the agents, the agent identity, the decentralized identity, the messaging, interoperability, settlement, compute, storage, privacy, and compliance. Bravo. Bravo, Patsy. Wonderful. I mean, we're sharpening that layer cake though, man. We're sharpening it. We're going to find the best digital assets per freaking layer. For the agent layer, they say that there's no digital assets. It's not necessary for the digital assets on the agent layer. That is just going to be, a combination of decentralized and centralized systems, right? I think, if we had to throw an agent layer, like maybe, we're misunderstanding the agent layer here a little bit, but if we had to throw one that is like creating the agents or providing the agents on this layer, virtuals is definitely a big contender. FET could be a good contender, right? There's a lot of FUD towards FET right now, but they're definitely geared towards AI agents. DAG could be interesting for the AI agent realm. But yeah, I mean, not many, right? Not many that you would just be saying they're the ones that are providing the infrastructure layer for AI agent creation, right? But AI agent identity, we definitely know who the top dog is in that one. TIBBIR is leading in that direction. Now, AI agent privacy, that's an interesting layer that I'm trying to get into right here, where PRXVT may be necessary. That works hand in hand with TIBBIR, right? TIBBIR is like what agent gets to do what and are allowed to do what they're allowed to do, right? They're a must. You have to go through TIBBIR as an AI agent to be allowed to do what you're going to do in this 9-layer stack. But also, now once you're doing that, providing the privacy to that AI agent, right? That's very interesting. Decentralized identity, WLD, looking like they're going to be the leader in that. I mean, with the Orb product that's already scanned millions of eyeballs, Sam Altman's ChatGPT in tandem with it, that blockchain is already very well backed and very well suited to be the decentralized identity, digital identity solution right there. So World Chain WLD, cannot be sleeping on that. That is under $1 right now for WLD. They got connections with the XRPL. They've invested 3 grants into the ultimate privacy crypto that we were just talking about, the one that shreds your metadata, XX network, at a penny, negative 79% down. If we were to talk about blockchain as a service, looking like Dragon Chain is possibly the leader in terms of the blockchain as a service type of digital asset, right? Blue dragons flying around, but that's a different layer, right? If TIBBIR is one of the required infrastructure plays with no competition, why am I looking any further? I got you, man. I just don't want to miss out on the block, because blockchains are absolutely essential, and I don't want to miss out on any of the blockchain infrastructure cryptos. I mean, TIBBIR is going to go, dude, TIBBIR has potential to go to like multiple trillions of a market cap in its grandest scheme of things, right? But blockchain infrastructure is, obviously like TIBBIR without blockchain, TIBBIR will not, be a thing, right? TIBBIR needs blockchain, blockchain needs TIBBIR. They go hand in hand. But I want to have some of those blockchains, man. I want to try to find the blockchains that are going to be drawing consistent value and the most value, right? Above all, right? I definitely, I'm trying to set up a portfolio here of digital assets. I'm going to get my TIBBIR, without a doubt. I'm going to get my TIBBIR, but I definitely want to be getting some blockchains that are, going to be the infrastructure plays that could be totally life-changing and, most likely to be those infrastructure blockchain plays, right? Fun fact, Ribbon and OpenAI held a hackathon last year. Gotta love it. Very exciting to see how WLD, right, with its human identity, right, verification, working hand in hand with TIBBIR, AI agent identity, right? Everybody will have a frog AI agent to them. Skekel. What is Skekel? Let me see what Skekel is. I'll write that down too. Let's see what else. All right, let's keep going, guys. We talked, okay, so SHX comes up next in the deep reds here after PAC. SHX, once again, we talked about the compliance layer, absolute necessity for both XRP and XLM to do what they need to do in terms of the merchant layer era of payments or area of payments. They're going to be great for bank-to-bank payments. They're going to be great for the retail payments and the payment provider payments. But SHX, the ISO 20022 preferred partner for the Nacha experience and for the merchant small businesses payments, SHX is going to be cornering that at 008. What an opportunity. Negative 58% down, 100 billion supply. Shekel. Yeah, the Shekel's an interesting one to speculate on. Definitely. On virtuals and base. We've talked about Shekel in the past. Shekel definitely looks interesting. Then we go to Rose. We already talked about Rose earlier in terms of the privacy layer and compute layer, inherently private smart contracts. The blue Rose can also provide decentralized recovery. That's what separates it from a lot of privacy-focused cryptos and a lot of compute-focused cryptos. They cannot provide decentralized recovery to enterprises and, high level of security. 1 penny, negative 89. Is it 89? I think that's 84% down, 10 billion supply for the blue Rose. So easy to get 100 of these, so easy to get 1,000 of these, right? Negative 89% down, 10 billion supply. And we could stake this crypto and make it work for us, build up little petals of blue roses, right? Build up little blue petals, right, of blue roses, have it stake for us, and then we just cash out our staking rewards and we keep holding on to the blue roses that we do got. We got AXL at 13 cents, negative 85% down, 1.1 billion supply. Axelar, the interoperability layer play right here as a blockchain. Quant is not a blockchain, right? But Quant will definitely be drawing its volume. It's going to be a major compliance interoperability layer, very heavily tested already with central banks. This is going to probably be the way banks interact with blockchains. And then AXL is going to be the way blockchains interact with other blockchains and the Cosmos IBC, right? AXL is part of that. So 1.1 billion supply, negative 85% down, 13 cents for AXL. Major connections developed during this past few months when the bear market has been at its toughest. AXL has been onboarding HBAR, SHX, XRP, XLM, all in this year. They have been doing, these major, payment settlement layer, decentralized recovery assets. So you got to love the bridge of bridges. Wormhole is an interesting one as well with its heavy connections with Securitize. That's a W ticker. So those are kind of the interoperability plays so far for me. Then we go to SGB at 002, negative 81% down on the year, 19 billion supply. Absolutely essential for Flare's ecosystem growth. It is the Kusama to Flare's Polkadot, and SGB is at 002. Excited to see what SGB is going to do in the year of the sun. Then we got DAG leading the top spot here in the deep reds. 1 penny, negative 84% down, 2.6 billion supply. The leader in terms of the data integrity layer, DAG. No one else does it like DAG does. Constellation, looking fantastic. Layer 0 crypto as well. ISO 20022 compliant, part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. It can provide decentralized recovery and high-end data integrity, right? It's a non-blockchain, it's a layer 0, but very excited to see what DAG is going to do as well. Penny, negative 84% down, 2.6 billion supply. We can provide it in liquidity pools on PackASwap. We can make it work for us while we're waiting for DAG to do its thing. And DAG, dude, if we zoom out as well, DAG was multiple zeros not too long ago, right? A lot of these cryptos, guys, were multiple zeros or in the pennies range before they started to make them, dude, like, you know, things like TRX. TRX is not going through a bear cycle. TRX was at 2 cents forever. HBAR is not really going through a bear cycle. HBAR was at 2 cents forever, right? You got a lot of cryptos that were super, you know, low in value for a very long time. Then they rose up and freaking did their thing in the bull cycle. And then their retracements, they're not going back to those historical lows. They're not creating new lows, right? They are well ahead. Dude, HBAR is still a 6 cents or, you know, 6x from its previous low, right? Algorand is still a 6x or no, not a 6x. Algorand is, I think Algorand's literally only like 2 pennies actually from its previous low. So we're getting really close to a bottom there for Algorand. But yeah, a lot of these cryptos, if we zoom out and see their charts in the grand scheme of things, some of these aren't having as heavy retracements as others are, right? But people seem to lose their crap because they chase the pumps. This is why we don't like chasing pumps. This is why we like jumping in to deep reds. This dude is that conspiracy theory meme. I'm like Charlie Day, right? With all the boards, right? All the connections. Shout out to you, Melodrama Boy. Appreciate you jumping on in. Hopefully you stick around. Hopefully we see you next time, man. This is the end of our stream as we're getting to it. This is the deep reds. Let's go over them one more time in fast mode. Appreciate everybody hitting the like on the way out. If we can get 30 likes on the way out, that would be amazing. And for anybody watching later, I'd be grateful. We usually cap out around 20 to 30 likes per stream. The algorithm doesn't allow it to go any further. I would love to prove them wrong. I would love for the community to be able to prove them wrong. And just so grateful for any new supporters and subscribers and members to the channel. DTCC just got the green light from the SEC, right? Yep, to process 3.8 quadrillion through blockchain rails. Let's go, David. Yep, that's big news too. And then the OCC, right? How convenient that we get that news as well as the OCC giving the green light to Ripple. Is this the storm beginning? I'm excited to see what's going to go on, man. Hopefully we get some bullish momentum coming with this bullish news. But anyways, let's keep moving. We got Aqua at 0005, 100 billion supply. We got XPL at 14 cents, negative 43% down. What is it? 114 million supply. We got TIBBIR at 16 cents, negative 49% down. 1 billion supply. We got Tau at $290, negative 50% down, 21 million supply. We got Zahao at 3 cents, negative 66% down, 600 million supply. We got HNT at $1.80, negative 77% down, 223 million supply. We got ICP at $3.28, negative 75% down, 12 million supply. XX Network at a penny, negative 79% down, 1 billion supply. We got Tezos at 50 cents, negative 65% down, 979 million supply. We got Block V at 009, negative 40% down in the past 90 days, 3.6 billion supply. We got XLM at 23 cents, negative 44% down, 50 billion supply. We got MDT at 1 penny, negative 74% down, 1 billion supply. We got XYO at 005, negative 80% down, 13 billion supply. We got FLR, 1 penny, negative 58% down, 96 billion supply. We got EGLD, $7.36, negative 84% down, 28 million supply. We got HBAR at 12 cents, negative 57% down, 50 billion supply. We got IOTA at 9 cents, negative 71% down, 2.7 billion supply. We got Algorand at 12 cents, negative 71% down, 10 billion supply. We got VeChain at a penny, negative 80% down, 86 billion supply. We got Atom at $2.14, negative 76% down, 390 million supply. We got ADA, 41 cents, negative 63% down, 45 billion supply. We got AVAX, $13.10, negative 75% down, 720 million supply. We got PAC at 0079, negative 87% down, 1 billion supply. We got SHX at 008, negative 58% down, 100 billion supply. We got Rose at a penny, negative 84% down, 10 billion supply. AXL at 13 cents, negative 85% down, 1.1 billion supply. SGB at 002, negative 81% down, 19 billion supply. And DAG at a penny, negative 84% down, 2.6 billion supply. Guys, always grateful. Thank you so much for everybody who's supporting. Thanks for hitting the like on the way out. Thanks to any new subscribers to the channel. Thanks to any new members. What an awesome session, as always, with the Blue Foundation. Always grateful, you guys. And in the description below, there's ways to donate. We have our Coinbase ID. We have our Ethereum address. We have our Ember app and the referral code. Using the referral code helps you earn more passive Satoshis for using the Ember app. I am so grateful to everybody here. Much love to all of y'all. Thank you, Blue Foundation. Thank you, Green Giants. And thank you, Deep Red Alliance. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. We got the golden eyes, and we keep it crypto. I'll see you guys in the Blue Castle. Much love. Adios.